Today we are here with a revision for board exam of mathematics. Now starting with chapter number 1, this is real numbers. First of all, we should know certain rules, divisibility rules, because they are important for finding out LCM and HCF, which are the basics of chapter number 1, real numbers of class 10. First rule, if you have to find whether the number is divisible by 2 or not, that number, just check out the number, the digit at one's place, last digit, that is, if it ends with 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. Example, we can take an example over here. We can take any number like 6, 4, 2. If last digit is 2, right, then that means this whole number is divisible by 2. Now for 3, divisibility rule is we have to add all the digits. Let's take a number like 1, 2 and 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 7. What we will do, 1 plus 2 plus 4. This is 7. Now 7 is not divisible by 3. So this number is not divisible by 3. Now let's take another example like 3, 6 and 9. Add them. 3 plus 6, 9. 9 plus 9, 18. So 18 is divisible by, if you put an add sign over here, it is divisible by 3. So this whole number is divisible by 3. For 4, if there is a number like 6, 4, 2, 4, 8, 0, just check out last two digits. If last two digits are divisible by 4, this 80 is divisible by 4. So this whole number is divisible by 4. Any number you can take, just check out last two digits. Similarly, for 5, you have to just check out last digit if it is either 5 or 0, right? If it is 5 or 0, then the whole number will be divisible by 5. For 6 now, just see all these numbers. Now for 6, what is the rule? Now since 6 can be written as 2 multiply 3, that is product of two prime numbers. So if the given number like 6, 4, 2, if this number is divisible by 2 as well as 3, since 6 can be written as 2 multiplied by 3, 2 3 just 6. So if the given number is divisible by 2 as well as it is divisible by 3, then this whole number will be divisible by 6. Now comes the rule for 8. It is very much similar to the rule like 4, but we have to check here in last three digits like 8, 4, 8, 6, 2. Now if last three digits are divisible by 8, then this whole number will be divisible by 8. This is the rule for 8. Now let's check out some other rules like 11, 10. For 10 it's very simple, you just check out the last digit. For 10 you have to see whether last digit is 0 or not. Now for 11, sometimes there is some confusion for 11, like the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this you have to see alternate numbers. 1 plus 3, you have to add them. 1 plus 3, 4. 4 plus 5, 9. Now again alternate numbers. 2 plus 4, 6. Now subtract it. That is, find the difference. This is 3. If this difference comes out to be either 0 or any multiple of 11 like 22, 33, 44, 55, any multiple of 11 or 0, then the whole number will be divisible by 11. These are the basic rules for finding the LCM and HCF. Now another thing, prime number. What is prime number? Prime number is a number which has only two factors, 1 and the number itself. That is like 2. It has only two factors, 1 and 2, right? So if it has only two factors, 1 and the number itself, it is called a prime number. And the important thing is, this is the smallest prime number. which is the smallest prime number? It is 2. Smallest and only number which is prime. Smallest prime number and only prime number which is even. Smallest even prime number. There is only one even prime number. This is 2. Similarly, smallest composite number. Composite numbers are those numbers which have factors more than 2 factors, 1 and the number itself. They are composite numbers. And smallest composite number is 4. Smallest composite number is 4, right? So these are some basic things. Just one more thing, then we'll directly come to the concept. Smallest composite number is 4. Now, co-prime numbers are the numbers which do not have any common factor other than 1. Other than 1 means if the numbers are 2 and 3, they have only one common factor. This is 1. If it is, suppose I am taking another number over here. If suppose number is 6 and I am taking another number as suppose 7. They have also one common number. That means consecutive numbers have only one common factor. This is 1. Now if I take suppose 5 and 11. These also have only one common factor. This is 1. So these are co-prime. Co means together, right? Prime in relation to each other. These are co-prime numbers. So coming to the topic now further, these were the basic concepts which are important for real numbers. Now coming towards LCM and HCF. Now there is basic rule. LCM multiply by HCF. This is the important formula. This is equal to product of two numbers. Product of two numbers. Example, if I take 6 and 4, right? 6 and 4, and I have to find out LCM and HCF. For 6, I can write 6 can be written as 2 into 3 and 4 can be written as 2 into 2. So the common factor between them is 2, right? Common factor between them. So this is highest common factor is equal to 2. And what is the LCM? LCM is equal to, common factor is taken once, 2 into 3. 2, once it has been taken 2 into 3 into 2. So 3 to just 6 and 6 to just 12. So LCM is equal to 12. Now as per this rule, HCF is 2. What is your LCM? Right? HCF is 2 and your LCM is 12. And the two numbers are, so 12 to just 24. And product of two numbers, let us check. We were given 6 and 4. So, right? We have taken 6 and 4. Just a minute. Now, 2 into 12, 24, and this is 6 and 4, product of two numbers. So, this should be 6 1 ja 6, 6 2 ja 12, 6 3 ja 18, and 6 4 ja 24. So, these two are equal. So, if out of these 4, any 3 things are known to you, you can calculate another things. Suppose you have to find the HCF, right? If you have to find the HCF, then what you will do? Normal rule, multiply sign is here, take 12 here. So your HCF is equal to 6 into 4 divided by 12. Cancel out. 3 1 ja 3 and 3 2 ja 6. So your HCF is 2. Okay. This is your first thing which is important in this chapter. Another thing is you have to find whether the given rational number is terminating or non-terminating. It can be found only by judging the denominator. Suppose it is 6 upon 25. If your denominator can be written in the form 2 raised to the power n and 5 raised to the power m. That means factorize 25. 25 can be written as 5 ja 25. That is, I can write it as 6 upon 5 1 2. So it can be written as only 5 की power m. That means this is a rational number which is terminating. Okay, which is terminating. And in case any other number is there instead of 2 raised to the power n or 5 raised to the power m, then it is non-terminating. Suppose it is 6 upon 14. So this is equal to 6 upon 2 into 7. 2 is okay, but 7 is also there. So this is non-terminating rational number. Rational number is a number which can be expressed in the form P upon Q. So this is a small revision for chapter number 1. Let's proceed towards another chapter. Now let's move to chapter number 2, polynomials for class 10th, which is going to be there in term 1 of your exam. Let's have some small concepts. Linear polynomial. It is a polynomial which is having degree 1. What is degree? For example, if there is a polynomial, say x, okay, it is having degree 1. Then it is quadratic polynomial. Quadratic means which is having degree 2. For example, x square plus 2x plus 5. Now since it is having maximum degree of 2, so this is called quadratic polynomial. Now 0 of a polynomial is a kind of solution only. Suppose this is a polynomial p of x is equal to x square minus 3x minus 4. Now if you have to find its value at p at minus 1, right? Substitute x is equal to minus 1. This is x is equal to minus 1. So now it becomes minus 1 square minus 3. Instead of x, just write minus 1 minus 4. Minus 1 square is 1. Now this becomes plus 3 minus 4. 3 plus 1 4 and 4 minus 4 0. So if it is coming out to be 0, that means it is one of the 0 of the given polynomial. That is, it is the solution. Correct? It is a solution. It is having two solutions. Now just identifying it with this axis, how we will find that how many zeros are there for a given polynomial. If suppose there is a graph like this, and if it is touching x-axis 2 times, then it means it is having 2 zeros. Suppose if it is touching x-axis only once, like this, that means it is having only 1 zero. Suppose it is not touching x-axis and it is just passing like this, that means it is not having any zero. Okay, now let's proceed further. Now coming to the important part, how to solve it or how to find the solution of the given polynomial. Now let's move to another topic, which is how to find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. Now another name for zeros is solution. We call them as alpha and beta also. Correct? Now suppose this is a quadratic polynomial, x square plus 7x plus 10. Now compare it with ax square plus bx plus c. Here a is equal to 1, b is equal to 7 and c is equal to 10. What you have to do is, if you have to find the solutions, multiply these coefficients 1 into 10, 10. Now just factorize this 10 as in the form such that you get the solution as plus 7. 10 can be written as 2 into 5. There are many other things. It can be 10 1 ja 10, right? 2 5 ja 10, 5 2 ja 10. So the best is 2 into 5, since 2 plus 5 gives you this b. So I can write this polynomial now as x square plus 2x plus 5x. This is 2x plus 5x, 7x, right? Plus 10. Now I have taken this x common. So I am getting here x plus 2. Now plus 5 common. From these two, we are left with x. 5 2 are 10 plus 2. So this x plus 2 you can write as a common bracket. Another one is x plus 5. So the two solutions are x plus 2 is equal to 0. That means x is equal to minus 2. Similarly, x plus 5 is equal to 0 means x is equal to minus 5. These are the two solutions of the given equation. If you want to check whether it is right or wrong, substitute minus 2 instead of x, you will get 0. Then substitute minus 5 instead of x, you will get 0. And you will get your answers. Right? Now another thing, sum of the roots or sum of the solutions is equal to minus b upon a always. Product of the solutions is equal to c upon a. Correct? And if you have to form the equation, and if you are given, suppose you are given sum of the roots as minus 3 and product of the roots as 2. Product of the roots given 2 and sum of the roots is given minus 3. This is a general form in which you can find out the equation. This is x square minus x within the bracket sum of the roots plus product of the roots. Correct? So I get x square minus minus plus 3x plus 2. This is my equation, given equation. Correct? Now just remember, if sum of the roots is given and product of the roots is given, if they are given separately, if you are given alpha is 1 and beta is 2, then you have to sum the roots for putting the values here. Then sum of the roots become 3 and product of the roots, that is alpha multiply beta, 2 1 ja 2. Just don't confuse between these two things. If you are directly given sum of the roots, substitute the value directly. If you are given alpha separately and beta separately, put it like this. Okay? Just coming to the last topic of this particular chapter. Now, last topic is how to divide the polynomial. Okay? How to divide the given polynomial. And last thing is how to divide the given polynomial with a given polynomial. This is, suppose you are given this polynomial and you have to divide this one. So x square into 3x cube, right? Just multiply it by 3x and you will get the solution. Now this 3x cube plus 3 to just 6x square plus 3x. Subtract it and you'll get this value. Correct? For this value now, it is minus 5x square. So put it minus 5 over here and you'll get this value. And further, you can get at last, just check out minus 5x square minus 10x minus 5. Now subtract these two. This will cancel out. You will be left with this as remainder. Okay. Thank you very much. Prepare well these two chapters. We will meet in another video with another chapters. Goodbye.